How y'all doing out there? Anyhow, it is February 1st, 2026. It's 11:37. I'm just now leaving the boat ramp. Of course, it was like 25 degrees this morning, so awful cold. Bluebird skies. It was cold yesterday, cold and windy yesterday. It was below freezing, probably about 25 yesterday, 24, 25 degrees yesterday morning. Windy with clear skies. And so today is going to be light and fair. I think the wind's going to get about 7 or 10 miles an hour. And let's see, what water temp is 60. So the water temp's not bad. There's a power plant lake, so the water temp stay fairly warm. But even with that, with such cold temperatures, who knows what we're going to find. A few boats already out here, which for me, when it's this cold, in the wintertime, I don't get out to the lake early because it's not, my experience is there's the early morning bite just isn't there, if at all. I mean, there may not be a bite window at all today. It's kind of how it's been lately. It's just been a tough bite in general. Even when I've been out here with the right conditions. That being said, we're gonna roam around, see if we can find any hungry fish. Yeah, I guess we're gonna do that. So here, I'm gonna start roaming around, looking around, see if I can find bait fish. Try to find something. See if I can figure out how to catch them. All right, get back with you when I find something. All right, on my favorite spot, I'm with the Carolina rig. About 28 foot of water right now. This is the reason I freaking love this spot. Oh my gosh. And there's a band of tournament guys on this spot. I chased them off for good reason. Look at that right there, boys and girls. Did you see that band that came out? Oh my gosh. Love this spot, man. Carolina rig, my favorite bait, dude. Love this spot. Doesn't always have the big ones. When it does, 5.8, 578, 578. 5, 7, 8. How big? How long is she? 7 ounces, 7.8 ounces, 21 inches long. All right, well, I just want to do a little end of the day review of how the day went, and maybe anybody who's interested help you figure out how to find the fish and how to figure out what lures to use. So the day started with me getting out to the lake about just after 11:30. I fished a couple spots early where I saw some fish in the river channel, about 18 foot, mixed in with some bait. No bites, nothing. And it was real calm and clear, bluebird skies. Water temp was 60 to 64 degrees. And I found fish offshore about 28 to 35 feet. I fished one area. There again, I didn't get any bites. The fish were moving quite a bit, chasing bait. And so they didn't hang around long enough for me to catch anything. I did go and fish the upper part of that hump that typically holds them. It's in about 18 to 22 foot, and there was nothing there. So it's the first time that I've found fish out in front of that hump in 28 to 35 foot of water. Which is interesting. And then I tried a few other spots, didn't find much of anything. Saw one other guy catch a bass. It wasn't big, it was probably about 2 pounds. And there was another tournament, or there was a tournament out there. I think it was Texas A&M. Because there was one guy, that's what his boat said, Texas A&M on it. And he happened to be on my favorite spot, the spot that I caught that fish off of. It actually kind of worked out because he was on the spot that I want, the area of that ledge that I wanted to fish, and which I ended up fishing in an area about 300 to 400 feet away from him, which I just found because I just, instead of fishing where he was fishing, I just used my electronics and found some fish holding near him. And so, which is good because I found a new spot, and that's always good. And anyhow, and then the bait ended up catching it on a Carolina rig. It was like a fuzzy beaver. It was black in color. A creature bait. It's actually a jig trailer is what that is, but I was just going through my box trying to find something because I threw a few other baits, and there was no interest. But I saw those fish on the electronics, and they were definitely feeding. They were definitely there, and I knew at that point it was just a matter of me figuring out what to get them to bite. And I got to be quick. And so as I was digging through my box, I found it. Creature bait, fuzzy beaver, black in color. And the reason I went with black is because it's winter time, cold, and the bottom of that lake is black. It's black muddy bottom, and so if there's any crawfish down there and eating that mud, they're going to be black in color. And sure enough, it ended up getting bit. In fact, I got bit while I was adjusting my hat because the wind started picking up and it started getting cold. And which is always good for an offshore bite, having a little bit of wind. Too much wind, it can be difficult, but you need some wind generally for the fish to bite. And so, and the fish were in there. I found them in about, like I said, 28 to 35 foot out there along the ledge. And it was late in the afternoon, after tournament hours. That guy, that tournament fisherman, I think he ended up leaving, and I think it was because he was heading back to the boat ramp because it was getting late in the afternoon, and he had to get back, from weighing. And so, anyhow, that's the real, that's a summary of the day, how things went. I did stay and fish the spot for about 2 more hours, and the fish did return a couple times, but I think they left because they were chasing the bait out in the deep water, and then the bait would come back, and then, or they were working on top of that ledge. I could have looked around more, but I kind of hung
just enough for just that moment that one fish came up. I just happened to make a good cast at the right time, and she bit. And that really is a lot of what is involved in fishing, is happenstances, being in the right place at the right time. And so that's part of the reason why going and kind of doing a little breakdown summary is good, to kind of let you know that, hey, if I was going to go back tomorrow, I'd be looking in, afternoon to late afternoon in 28 to 35 foot of water, and I'd work ledges. And so even going back up shallow, I mean, you just never know. Every day changes. I mean, that's not to say it's not an absolute, but that worked. And that's it. It just worked, and that's all that really matters. I mean, and know that things always change, and so, but that's good. That says that the fish are moving out deep, chasing bait, and so, and I love fishing deep in water. So that's one of my favorite ways to catch them. I do like fish, pitching and flipping and stuff. That's kind of my second. Well, summertime I'm usually a pitching and flipping kind of guy. Wintertime I'm out there fishing, and because that's just how it is. Cold water, fish move out deep. Warm water, fish are up shallow. It's the opposite of what most people think. Anyhow, that's just kind of a little